sleep, I pray the Lord that I wake again. I wake again. I wake again. I pray the Lord that I.
So, many of you guys might remember from our last video that we filmed, I got this drone, now it's been like 5 days now, and I went to Claremont specifically to film with it, and both the batteries were dead, which sucked. But I charged them, so now we're good. And the controller's charged, I got everything ready to go. So, we need to get some aerial clips of this thing, but before we do that, I have to get some normal scootering clips because last time we rode at Claremont, I didn't get that many because it got dark really fast. So now we have to do that, right? Right.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ay, coming down like precipitation. I ain't never met a limitation. Hate a plot in my elimination. Gotta go to Google for the information. I'm a superstar, so I gotta shine. Top dollar be the bottom line. Bottom feeding dotted line. Turn your heart rate to a dotted line. Yeah,
Had a successful session over here at the park. Got a couple clips. A bunch of the friends wanted to get a couple clips for the vlog as well. I think they all turned out pretty good. And Matt actually had a nasty line. And plus he had the funny fall that you guys, I probably used that for the intro because I'm a nice friend. That's what nice friends do. Dear Lord, I need a freaking haircut. Okay, well, it's currently the following day. We ended up over here at Scooter Zone. It is about 9 a.m. or no, 10 a.m., sorry. I've showed you guys some of my older scooters in the past. By the way, sorry about the echo. I'm inside the showroom right now and it's kind of it bounces a lot. But I've showed you guys a couple of my really, really old scooters, some of my antiques, but I've never actually shown you the plethora of my actual lineup. Now, these are not like my old scooters that I rode. I'm not talking about like my previous decks and wheels and bars and things like that. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about actual antique scooters that are from like the 70s, 60s, 50s, like super, super old scooters. And today I figured it was a good opportunity to actually show you guys some of my old scooters. And now that I think about it, I need to start out there. Okay, so we're gonna start off right here to your right. So these two scooters are what are called kick and goes. So kick and goes are, I wanna say they're from like the 70s or 80s, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think that's about where we're at. These scooters were actually made by Honda. I don't know why they dipped into making these very odd contraptions, but they are really, really cool. I'm glad that I didn't have to ride one of these as a kid, because they're not easy to ride. The way that you actually ride these scooters, this red one doesn't actually work. This one's kind of jacked up, the chain's snapped on it, and it's hard to find the chains for these things. But this blue one is kind of one of my prized possessions because the chain is actually still intact on this. These aren't like worth a ton of money or anything like that, but they're just like a really cool thing to have. I would like to have another one of these, which, by the way, I want to add, somebody actually came in here with a yellow kick and go. I think it was like a few months ago. If you're watching this video, bring that back. I'd like to see that again and actually take a couple pictures of it and add it to the museum. If you're looking at getting rid of it, let me know. We have actually ridden this blue one before. You guys might have seen that video. We rode this at Megazone a few years ago, and this blue one we actually backflipped into the foam pit. So that was actually a really cool little highlight with this scooter. But yeah, anyways, the way that these are ridden is you stand on the deck and this little lever thing right here, you pump this with your foot, right? So if I move this crap out of the way, it's actually like, it's pretty simple. So I'm just gonna push off a little bit and kind of pump. Oh, it takes a little bit of getting used to, that's for sure. Could you imagine if these were the things that actually stuck and these were the things we had to ride and do tricks on? How odd would that be? You can't exactly do any tricks on this unless you want to just like try to backflip it in the foam pit like me. but this one still works, and that's amazing. So if you guys come into Scooter Zone and you see this scooter, number one, don't freaking touch it. Don't touch any of my old scooters. People have come in and touched all these and knocked them over. Don't do that. Don't mess with these, please. But that's the Kick and Go, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I think from 70s or 80s, and you got like the little brake on here, which does not work at all, but I like these. I think they look really cool, and they kind of bring some of the parents that come in here back in time. Now moving on to some of our other scooters, this is the Torpedo Scoot. That's actually what it's called, Torpedo Scoot. I don't know what year this is from, but judging by the looks of it, I would say this is probably like, gosh, this has to be like the 50s. This thing is super, super small. Obviously this is not in very good condition. A lot of the metal on this thing is kind of corroded and whatnot. Rust has been a huge factor in this scoot. But the fact that the sticker is still on there is really, really cool. Manufactured in Detroit. We have ridden this one at the skate park. Not a good idea, because the only thing that's really holding the, what you would call bars on this thing, are these little tiny screws, and there's only 3 of them. So that's pretty sketch. The wheel, oh God. The wheels on these are metal. So this is pre-urethane wheels. It's a super thin deck, but this was intended for little kids to use. You cannot turn on this thing. You go straight, and that is it. So I don't understand that. I mean, but granted, I wasn't a kid in the 50s. I'm sure in the 50s this would have been a great time and a popular toy for that time. But it turns out for a really cool piece. This one I do not own. This is actually owned by one of the local scooter kids, but they put it in here just to kind of display. A super cool scoot. I don't know what year this is from. Obviously this one, same idea as the Torpedo. It has been weathered. It's seen some damage. The wheels on this, they obviously looked like that at one point, where they actually had a full urethane across, or rubber, whatever you want to call this. But it's, again, seen some serious weather. Whoa. And the bearings only like to stay in one spot. But a cool piece. Definitely a cool scooter. Check out the brake on this thing. Throwback. Next one on the list isn't really like an antique. This is a micro. This was made like probably just a few years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago, somewhere in there. It's just a tri-wheeled scooter, super interesting. I actually would like to take this thing to the skate park and try to backflip it, but it's really spooky because the turning on this thing is actually pretty torquey. So as soon as you drop in and you lean one way at all, like you're turning. So it's kind of sketch. But it's a really cool scooter. I like the way it looks, and it gets a lot of eyes. So one day we will ride this at the skate park, but that day is not today. Next up on the list is my wooden scoot. So this scooter I actually bought. This is the latest one that I actually went and physically bought myself. But this one I'm actually super proud of. This is actually in pretty good condition. Again, I'm not positive as to what year this is, but I would imagine this is probably like the 60s or so, maybe a little bit later. But this scooter, for how old it is in really good condition. Obviously all wood. The guy that owned this scooter before me took super good care of it. I don't know if it was his scooter when he was a kid or whatnot, but he actually like would rub oils on this thing to make sure that the wood didn't crack, and he did a super good job because there's no cracks in this wood at all, which is actually super, super impressive. Like there's a couple down here where these like little bolts are that hold the head tube on, but that kind of makes sense. Look at the headset. That's literally it. It's just a bolt. No bearings or anything, literally just a bolt. The brake that's on that scooter is kind of the same idea that's on this one. Same thing, same concept. This one has a little bit of grip on it, which is kind of cool. Even the paint in the wheels is in pretty good condition. The bolts that are holding the wheels onto the fork, I guess, they're still there. They're still original. Everything else is in pretty good condition. The actual rubber on the wheels is in pretty good condition. I'm not going to ride this one because if I do, it will fall apart. But this one I have shown in my videos before, but just a little recap on it. This is a 4-wheeled scoot that as you lean, the wheels kind of, it's almost like skateboard trucks in a way, but they lean a lot further and there's not really much that stops them. So if you turn a whole bunch, you got some serious turning radius on here. Again, this scoot's in pretty good condition, but this one is made fully of metal, so it's not like wood like this scooter or this one right here. This is full aluminum and steel, so this should be in pretty good condition, and it should stay this way for a while as long as it's not sitting outside. This obviously isn't very grippy or anything. It wasn't really meant to be. That's why it was kind of like cut in and kind of a crosshatched like that. But again, a really cool scoot. I'm not sure what year this is from. I don't see a year really on any of these, but I'm gonna say this one's a little bit newer than this one, because this one actually has bearings in there. Like you guys can see, like the bearing inside of the hub of the wheel. This has got a little bit of urethane. It's not like a steel wheel or anything. So I'm gonna take a guess and say this is like maybe 80s, 70s or 80s. That's what I'm gonna guess. I'm not 100% sure, but that's just kind of, like I said, kind of my opinion on it. Still a really cool scoot. Definitely a really neat piece of history in the scooter world. Also, yeah, these bars, they do not turn at all. There's no turning. This is your turning. None of these bars really spin much at all. You cannot bar spin any of these scooters. This is pre-scooter tricks. Next one up, we've got probably the scariest one of the whole group because it's so flimsy right now. This is, what's this thing called? The Roller. This is called the Roller. Again, not sure what year this is from. I'm going to take a guess to say this is probably pretty close to this one, so 60s-ish maybe. Wheels on this one aren't as good a condition as our other one, but it still at least has some of the rubber urethane on there. Same idea, same concept with the headset, same bar idea, but these ones are bolted from the front as opposed to being, I would imagine, are just glued together on this one. But still, really cool scoot. The smallest one of the group. 2 wheels in the back instead of the front. Oops, two wheels in the back instead of one. And no brake. Apparently you didn't need to stop. So if you're riding this, you are a full speed ahead kid. You're a daredevil. Not really, but it's cool. It's a cool scooter. I like this one. Wood's in decent condition. Still has the paint on the front. Like that one. It's really, really neat. And then our final one, in this little collection I have here, as opposed to the stuff that I have in my house, is what we call the sled scoot, the tube scoot. A lot of eyes go towards this scooter because it is so unique and so weird. It's literally just two bent pieces of metal. There's no grips or anything, just two pieces of bar, but they put bar ends in there to watch it for your fingers, so that's nice. The paint in this one is in pretty good condition. It could be better, of course. All the condition on all these scooters could be better. None of them are brand new, but it has all the pieces of the scooter, which I think is really, really neat. So, for example, we've got every single bolt that's on the scooter that came with the scooter is on there, with the exception of whatever went right here, which I would imagine maybe like, I don't even see like anything that could have been on there. Like I don't see any marks. If there was a bolt that went on this thing, maybe the original owner didn't have it or something, because it doesn't look like there's any abrasions or anything like that right there, any scratches. So I'm just gonna assume that there wasn't anything there. Original wheels, again, metal wheels on this thing. Don't necessarily have real bearings in there. I mean, maybe we do have bearings in this one, but this one, if you wanted to turn, it's the same idea. You gotta lean. But as soon as you step on this one, you're pretty much falling over because your wheelbase is so skinny. It's not necessarily short like from wheel to wheel. It's short like because there's two wheels and it's just skinny and it's hard for this thing to balance. But your deck right here, kind of interesting. It's again just built on this dual tube design. No brake. But if you put like some rocket boosters or something in there, it actually looked pretty sick because it just looks like it'd be coming out of this freaking tube, but that's just like a dream idea. Same wheelbase on the back end, that side-by-side dual wheel thing. Those also kind of, do these lean? They do lean, but if I lean it over anymore, I'm just gonna knock the scooter over. Again, you guys have seen this scooter in the vlog before. We rode this here in Scooter Zone pre-half pipe days, so super interesting scoot, and I would like to get another one of these. I don't know where the heck I need to go to find one, or to find none. You can't get parts for any of these, but I would like to have more interesting scooters here at Scooter Zone. If you guys come in and you see my little collection, check it out. If you want to like take pictures of it, feel free, but do not touch them. Don't touch my old scooters. They're not for you to play with. They're old. If you touch them, they might fall apart. They're already falling apart. But that is my collection, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you guys enjoyed checking out that little piece of scooter history. Again, some of these probably date back to like the 50s-ish. I'm not 100% positive. Could be earlier, could be a little bit later, but I'm gonna take a guess as to say like that's around the era of the oldest one, which is probably gonna be that Torpedo Scoot, which is the first one we kind of looked at on this little lineup. But regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed checking out that little piece of scooter history. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching us ride at the skate park, and I had a good time. And as you guys know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we upload over here. I missed Wednesday, which is why you got a video yesterday, but I'll see you guys on Monday. Thanks again for watching, guys. Until next time, I'm out. Later.
Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord that I wake again. I wake again. I wake again. I pray the Lord that Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord that I wake again.